One of the biggest indicators of a masculine man is his ability to recognize and appreciate a feminine woman. Hi, ladies. Welcome back to the Feminine Universe. I am so happy to have you here. Feminine women bring a special kind of energy to the world. Their emotional intelligence, intuition, and their unique forms of strength allow them to create deeper connections, foster nurturing environments, and achieve personal and professional growth. Now, we hear terms like nurturing and intuition thrown around quite often these days. But today, I want to get really specific and explore what feminine women truly bring to the table. The qualities that we have that shape relationships, build communities, and that empower and uplift everyone around us. Though we'll be focusing on this from a romantic angle today, you'll notice these traits apply in many, if not all, aspects of life. Whether in love or life in general, the impact of feminine energy is undeniable. And I want you to leave this video understanding just how powerful it can be. Now, let me be clear. This list is not for you to go rattle off point by point to prove yourself to someone. If you are not at a job interview and someone asks you what you bring to the table, I recommend you run. I tell this to the men and women that I work with. If someone asks you this, they are either too immature to know better, or they want to put you in a position where you feel like you have to prove yourself to them. So don't fall into that trap. The purpose of us discussing what a feminine woman brings to the table is so that you, as a woman, understand the importance of what you bring so you don't allow yourself to be taken for granted. Also, because sometimes I'll have women who are housewives or women who don't make anywhere near as much as their man asking me how they can contribute on their part or how they can make their man feel loved and appreciated for all that he does. I'll also have women who do very well for themselves financially, but they don't want their finances to be the main thing they bring or lead with in a relationship. And they'll ask, so what do I focus on instead? What traits should I highlight instead? How do I lead with my femininity? And that's why I want us to talk about this. I'll put a few last disclaimers on the screen about who this is for and when to apply it. And with all that being said, let's get started. The first thing a feminine woman brings to a relationship is collaboration. Men, especially masculine men who are productive and doing things with their lives, deal with a lot of combativeness, competitiveness, and aggression professionally and otherwise. So they're usually not interested in dealing with more of that at home. When it comes to the woman in their life, it's more likely that they want to feel like we are in alignment and working towards goals together. They want to feel like everything else in the world can be coming at me in an adversarial way, but I have someone in my life who's truly in my corner. I have someone who has my back, someone who is not trying to compete with me, not trying to harm me or get one over on me when I'm not looking. This doesn't mean a feminine, collaborative woman can never discuss, disagree, or present other options. But this type of woman is conscious not to engage in a way that comes across as me versus you, but rather us versus the problem. A feminine woman creates an atmosphere that says, we are teammates, not opponents. The second thing a feminine woman brings is nurturing. Many times we hear about nurturing as one of the most admired feminine traits without it being clearly defined. So let's do that first. To nurture is to care for and encourage the growth or development of someone or something. With nurturing in general, feminine women do this thing where we tend to leave people better than how we found them, happier, more confident, more uplifted, feeling more worthy, whether it's our friends, our students, our families, or a complete stranger. Now, in your relationship, showing you care comes in so many forms, from being genuinely interested in how his day went, asking if he ate, caring for him in some way while he's sick, or making his birthday special even when he says it doesn't matter. Encouraging growth and development can look like pushing him to go for that promotion or start that business, sticking to that workout routine or that diet, or pushing him to kick a bad habit. It can also look like letting him know you expect better of him in certain situations because of how highly you think of him, like not letting another man goad him into pointless arguments or reactions. And while I know not everyone likes to hear this, but this nurturing trait is sometimes why such an emphasis is put on cooking for your man. It's just a different level of care. That is literal nourishment from you that goes into his body. In a symbolic kind of way, you are keeping him alive by providing something he needs to survive. Of course, everyone can have their own dynamics in their relationships. I'm just saying that sometimes it goes a little bit deeper than just the act of making food. The third thing we bring is the aesthetics. Let's face it, women are beautiful. Our appearance and presence is captivating. Like, can we just take a second to appreciate all the skin, the hair, the lips, the cheekbones, the freckles, the bodies, just all of it. And beauty is attractive. It pulls you towards it. And this is only multiplied for men who are known to be visual. So not only are women beautiful to begin with, then there are all the little things we do to make our skin glisten and our eyes sparkle and our lips shine. Our self-care routines, the things we wear, from dresses to lingerie, and the things we apply to smell extra delicious, to the jewelry we adorn our bodies with, from the daintiest pieces to the bold statement pieces. Our beauty alone can drive men crazy. And it has for centuries. But aside from being aesthetically pleasing, women also have a tendency to make everything around them more aesthetically pleasing as well. Most of us have heard of something called the girlfriend effect or wife effect, which is the noticeable improvement in a man's grooming, style, skincare after getting into a relationship. Women also tend to improve the aesthetics and beautify the home. Hence why we hear phrases like, it needs a woman's touch, or a woman will turn a house into a home. Where men tend to focus mainly on efficiency and getting the task completed, women tend to want to make the process and the result more pleasant and more enjoyable. And on that note, another thing we bring is ambiance. Aside from aesthetics, women also have a major impact on the ambiance. So not just how things look, but also how things feel, the mood, the energy, the vibes. There's a reason that they say happy wife, happy life. Now, I believe in happy spouse, happy house. I think everyone should be included in the happiness equation. But with the happy wife, happy life saying, what people tend to focus on sometimes is that if a woman is unhappy, she will make an entire space miserable. That is just the negative side of the chaotic feminine. Drama, disorder, destruction. But what people overlook sometimes with that statement is when a woman is happy, when a woman is well loved, when a woman is safe, you won't just have peace as in no drama. She will also go above and beyond to make the ambiance around her so unbelievably inviting and uplifting. Now, it's not a man's job to make you happy if you're miserable or not content within yourself, but it is his job to add to your happiness, not to be a source of stress and pain. And when that happiness is being added, it's obvious in the ambiance. It's the humming while she cooks or gets some work done. It's the uplifting music playing in the background. It's the cozy home decor. It's having family and friends over for good times. It's the extra little razzle-dazzle she adds to the meals. It's all the little things that just make her and anywhere she is a joy to be around. And these are the situations where you'll see the men who kind of always want to be home or can't wait to get back home after a long day of work, instead of sitting in the driveway for half an hour trying to brace themselves for what they're about to walk into. The next thing feminine women also bring is softness and affection. Men are capable of lifelong friendships. They'll help each other move or fly across the country to be a groomsman. They'll provide each other with companionship to watch a game, go fishing, sometimes traveling. But if you've ever watched them interact, you wouldn't typically categorize their interactions as soft or tender. Men generally interact with each other with lots of joking, ribbing, roasting, debating, and sometimes complete silence, which are all things they need. But there is a softness and a tenderness that everyone also needs that they just don't get from friends. I've said this before. The emotional support structure for men and women is very different. Women can do planned sleepovers, cry with each other, compliment each other's bodies, and go on these intimate friend dates and pour their hearts out. If a woman gets dumped or cheated on, she usually has a plethora of people who will uplift her and tell her that that man was trash anyway, while listing all her positive attributes. If a guy gets cheated on, many times it just makes him a point of ridicule. I'm saying all this to say many women fail to realize that your feminine presence is usually one of, if not the only, form of softness and tenderness in your man's life. And this is why some women who go the bro route with men end up feeling overlooked or get frustrated when they get bro treatment in return. I'm not saying there's something wrong with it. I'm just saying he gets bro treatment with his boys. So it's not really scratching the itch or filling the void for him with what's actually missing from his life when you do it. And when it comes to affection, I'm not just talking bedmate activities. Any woman can do that, feminine or not. But with feminine affection, I'm talking about rubbing his face or his beard, having a hand on his leg while he drives, walking into the room and just saying, I just felt like hugging you for a minute. I just felt like kissing you for a minute, laying on him or letting him lay on you while watching a movie. Again, these forms of affection are things he does not get from friends or family. With a feminine woman, he not only hears that he's loved, but he literally feels it. A sixth thing we bring is intuition. We're going to have a full video on feminine intuition, but for now, intuition is defined as the ability to understand immediately without conscious reasoning and is sometimes explained as a gut feeling about the rightness or wrongness of a person, place, or situation. Women tend to be a bit more cautious and observant and detail-oriented, probably because it helps us stay safe, but also get ahead. This can put us more in tune with our environment and allow us to catch certain things men might miss. So sharing our insights can be a major benefit to them. Women can also quite literally perceive things that men can't sometimes. For example, 1 in 12 men are colorblind, whereas only 1 in 200 women are. I'm sure in the caveman days, they couldn't quite explain color blindness, but if a woman recommended not eating particular berries, they probably knew to listen. It's sometimes said that men were given the size and strength to fight out of a lot of bad situations, and women were given intuition to avoid a lot of bad situations. Whether it's avoiding danger or catching early symptoms of an illness, or just reading people in our surroundings, our intuition and perceptiveness are invaluable additions. The next thing we bring to a relationship is attentiveness, paying attention to the details when it comes to him, his likes, his dislikes, his quirks, his triggers, his routine, favorite foods, how he likes his coffee, whatever it may be. Sometimes women highlight the provider expectation in a man without realizing it can very quickly seem like he's only wanted for what he can give. Feminine women are considerate about showing they truly care about his happiness and well-being as a person also. Just like women don't like feeling used for their bodies or their emotional labor or anything else, men don't want to feel like an ATM or a human shield or just someone to donate bodily fluids to help you start the family you always wanted. I know mama's boys get a lot of flack, but for many men, that's the only part of life that's always welcoming and always concerned about them. Who will ask, "What's wrong, baby?" the second their voice sounds a little different. Who will still cut the crust off their sandwiches. And with good reason, many men are reluctant to give that up. And while I'm absolutely not saying to become his mom, because that's not your job, and it will kill the romantic spark in your relationship, I am saying to remember to provide a level of attentiveness that he doesn't get anywhere else. I've touched briefly on the fact that this is where a lot of work wives and work husbands creep into the situation by spending lots of time and paying attention to the little things, knowing their likes and dislikes, and having all those little inside jokes. That's a whole different kind of intimacy. The eighth thing we bring is communication. Like we've touched on, women are aware of some of the different things we can be socialized into, but we should acknowledge that men can be socialized into some things as well. And one of those things is to stifle their feelings. If you've ever seen a 3 or 4-year-old boy scolded for crying because that's not what boys do, you already have an idea of how early this starts. A feminine woman can not only help the masculine get in touch with his own feelings that he's maybe bottled up, but also help him get comfortable sharing those feelings. And not just by saying, "I'm willing to listen," but by proving trustworthiness by not sharing the little things he tells you with others, and also by not using the things he's previously told you against him. These are the things that turn his relationship with you into a safe space. And feminine women can also teach them to recognize and be more sensitive to the feelings of others, and therefore communicate more effectively with the outside world as well. The ninth thing we bring is acceptance and appreciation. A lot of traditionally masculine traits can be outright demonized. Rather than being nuanced and realizing the problem isn't the traits themselves, but rather their use in excess or their complete misuse that is problematic, it can be easier to just paint with a broad brush and condemn it all. With a masculine man, when they are chastised for things like opening doors or offering to carry something heavy, it is a direct blow to their masculinity. As we talk about often, feminine energy is receiving energy. On the other hand, masculine energy is very much about doing and giving. They derive actual pleasure and fulfillment from those things. So when you don't allow them to give to you or to do for you, it can feel like you're saying your masculine energy is not wanted or needed here, or that your masculine energy is actually offensive. When they're in the presence of the feminine, they are not only accepted, but truly appreciated for these traits. I've mentioned this on the channel before. I've had men actually thank me for not getting upset that they held a door open or because they offered to carry something. The more in your feminine you are, the more receptive and appreciative you are, the more that masculine behavior will flow right out of him, assuming it was there to begin with. And the 10th thing feminine women bring is our feminine essence. Feminine essence is a bit of everything we've mentioned so far. It's your overall feminine package. It's the energy that naturally emanates from a woman. It's also what allows him to feel like he's found the yin to his yang, the peanut butter to his jelly, the milk to his cookies. You get my point. All these things are totally fine alone, but they're even better together. When they're around other men, it's more like being around the same energy, which can get stale or overstimulating, which is why I think sometimes you'll hear men complain that there is too much testosterone in a room. They just want some of the opposite energy to meet with and balance their energy. So just by existing in your feminine energy and feminine mindset, it provides balance and comfort to his masculine energy. And that's why I say one of the biggest indicators of a masculine man is his ability to recognize and appreciate a feminine woman. He may not know what to call it, but a masculine man feels this incredible sense of peace, balance, and completeness when you're around, radiating in your feminine essence. Understand that your power is within you. Your value is within you. No matter where you come from, no matter what your family lineage is, no matter how much money you make or don't make, you have priceless traits. You're able to cultivate priceless traits and make such a massive impact on not just the man in your life, but also on the world around you. You need to know that you're valuable, that what you provide is valuable, and you need to move accordingly. Until next time, ladies, stay feminine, stay focused, and have fun.